Hello, ladies and men, and my non-binary friends. Welcome to my channel. My name is Rizzo, and we are going to be playing more Stardew Valley today, as well as I wanted to start doing things a little bit differently. I would like to. I don't remember if I put that in the thing. We're going to save that one. I'd like to start talking to you guys about some of my favorite conspiracy theories while we play, because those are something that I very much enjoy talking about, and I very much enjoy reading about, and, I just think they're so fun. And I'm not talking about, the super, obvious ones, like the flat earth theory I'm not going to talk about because it is so obviously not true. But there are some fun ones that are slightly true. I'm going to begin with one that I honestly fully believe in, and it is about the Titanic and how it was not the ship that sank, but in fact it was the Titanic's sister ship. And it was all one big insurance fraud. Now, that might sound super crazy, but when you look at all the evidence, it really, really sounds like it. So J.P. Morgan owned the White Star Lines, which is the cruise ship line that the Titanic belonged to. Sorry, don't have all my thoughts super straight. So J.P. Morgan owned the White Star Lines, is what the Titanic belonged to, and J.P. Morgan is like a famous financial dude for some reason. I don't know why he's famous. I just know I've heard his name a whole bunch, and he owns that company, J.P. Morgan, or he did. I don't know if he's still alive. Probably should look into that. Anyway, so White Star Lines. It also had a ship called the Olympic, which is the sister ship to the Titanic. Now, something that is important here is that the Titanic and the Olympic look exactly the same, almost. There were very slight differences. The Olympic had 14 port holes, port windows, whatever you want to call them, and the Titanic had 16. And the Olympic had I think it had a different number of smokestacks, as well as it had a gray painted underside, while the Titanic had a black painted underside. And so very, very minor differences. Other than that, these ships looked identical. And if you didn't know what you were looking at, you may not know there was a difference. So the Olympic came before the Titanic. It was built about a year before, I believe. And the Olympic actually got into a wreck with another ship called the Hawk. And for all intents and purposes, it should have been a write-off, totaled. But for some reason, they insisted on fixing it. Probably, I don't know, money hungry. So they paid a whole bunch of money to have the ship repaired, and then it was, I believe it wrecked again, and then it was, something about it got into more trouble. Anyway, the Olympic was having issues. So, the theory comes in when people are boarding on the Titanic. If you look at the first picture of the Titanic when it is docked after being built, it has 16 portholes. But on the pictures of the Titanic on the day that it was on its maiden voyage, that's the word I was looking for, I apologize, it had 14 portholes. And the ship that is on the bottom of the ocean had gray paint on the underside, and you can also see the letters M and P, just like in Olympic. So those are things that point to it being the Olympic that sank. Those seem like very clear signs to me. Help wanted. I am looking for someone to bring me 25 copper ores to see if any rare gems are hidden inside. To quit. Okay, we can do that. We're going to go down to the thing today. The Hujawatsin. The mines. Sorry. I get so into talking about my conspiracy theories, I don't remember any other words. So those are big signs right there. But there were a few other things, like a lot of people canceled on the day of the wreck, or the day of the maiden voyage, or not the day of, but they canceled their trip suddenly, weirdly. J.P. Morgan himself said that he was ill and couldn't make it, but he was not sick. He was totally fine. Him and his fiance were doing super dandy. Okay, I just said that all I'm missing is the horseradish. Great. Nice and easy. We can do that today before we go down to the mines. So he canceled. A bunch of his friends, like his close personal rich guy friends, all canceled. And there was another ship called the California that also belonged to White Star Lines that did something very strange that day. It sailed out into the middle of the ocean, and then it just stopped and waited. And people on the boat, or on the Titanic, people who survived, said that the all the like officers and stuff were like super adamant that the California was coming to get them while the ship was sinking. But it was about 12 miles too far. So the theory with that is that there was a miscommunication. The California was set to pick up all of the people who were, all of the shipwrecked people, everyone who got, who was drowning. But because it was too far away, it didn't make it in time, and a bunch of people died. So I don't think that they intended to hurt people with this insurance fraud, but something went wrong. Everything got messed up. Ooh, there's horseradish. We could do that right now. And the people, and, obviously anyone who knows the story of the Titanic knows that tons of people died that night, which is so tragic. And so, that was the theory, was that the California should have picked everyone up, but for some reason they were off course. Oh, the other thing that was a big sign that the Titanic was actually the Olympic was the Olympic, because of all accidents that had been in, listed to the left. Like, it would just pull to the left whenever it was being driven. And the Titanic didn't list to the left, but one of the survivors on the ship said the ship was listing to the left the whole time. Like, you could totally tell that the ship was listing. So there's a lot of really good signs there that the Titanic was not the Titanic. It was the Olympic that sunk. So they put a bunch of people on this boat, and then they drove it out into the ocean, and then they crashed it and sank it for insurance fraud, and in doing so, they killed a whole bunch of people. There was also, no media coverage for it. Like, at the time, there was just, very limited, we know the story now, but there was just very limited, media outlet coverage. A few people picked up the story, but not very many people did it or even investigated into it, which makes me think that Mr. J.P. Morgan, rich man, just paid everybody off, like rich people do. Now, like I said, I don't think that they were intentionally... Okay, so we fixed that. We did our first one, and it gave us spring seeds. So these will just grow the harvestable things when you plant them. I generally don't plant those ones because you can just get the forage stuff just by walking out in the field and world. But we have unlocked some more panels now, or scrolls, so we can check those out and see what we can do while we are discussing this. Sorry, everybody give me 1 second. Briefly. So, yeah, I honestly firmly believe that the Olympic was the ship that sank, and they sank it on purpose. Because there's just too many quote-unquote coincidences. So this one's the pantry. So this is where we bring our crops. And this one has crop things for, you have the animal bundles, fall crop, the artisan bundles. This is fruits and fancy stuff. And some of these, as you can see, there's not enough squares for each item that they show you as an example. But you can do any combination of these. We'll just have one of each to fill each square. These are high quality crops. This is where fertilizer comes in, gives you gold star crops and summer crops. And so we have some turnips and some green beans growing, and I believe I bought cauliflower. We need cauliflower and potatoes. I think I got cauliflower, so we just need to buy some potato seeds. And then we will go put everything away, and we will go into the mines and get some copper ore for Clint to fulfill that request. So, yeah. I am a firm believer that the Olympic was the one that sank. There's just way too many coincidences. And, I mean, you know how this country is run. Rich people get away with everything. Yes, I see you've been spending some time in the old community center. It's good to know someone's taking care of the place. Oh, Lewis, don't worry, we'll fix it up. I feel like there were some other bits of evidence about the two ships and their things. I believe, yeah, the biggest one for me is that pictures of the Titanic on the day of the voyage showed it only had 14 portholes, when first pictures of it clearly had 16. Sorry. So I don't know. You can decide for yourself what you believe. I have, no. It's not like it's completely unheard of for rich people to do crazy things like that, especially trying to get a big, insurance payout. Insurance fraud has been around for a long time, and we are just, better at catching it now. Obviously, way back when the Titanic was running, there wasn't a whole lot of investigative departments in the police station. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But either way, you can decide for yourself what you believe. I believe the Titanic was not the ship that sank, and it was actually the Titanic sister ship. And if you, I don't know, you guys can tell me in the comments what you believe, what you think about it. I'm a big conspiracy theorist lover. I don't believe in all of them. I'm not, super, obsessive about it, but there are definitely some that, if there's enough evidence, I'm, sold. You got me. I am 100% in on the Titanic being the Olympic. It just makes more sense, especially for the fact that, the shipwreck that we, have found, it says M&P on it, painted on it, where the name would be. And why in the world would it say that unless it was, in fact, the Olympic? Because the Titanic doesn't have M&P. I mean, I guess it could be J.P. Morgan, but I don't think his name personally was on the ship. I'm pretty sure it said... Did I not buy those potato seeds? Okay, whatever. We're just gonna go to the mine. I don't think it would have said his name personally. I think it would have said the White Star Lines, So I'm going to keep my axe, my sword, and my pickaxe to go down there. Sometimes it's hard to tell between the axe and the... Oops. See, it's hard to tell between the axe and the pickaxe, or the hoe sometimes. We're going to go this way because it's a little faster. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm fully in belief that they actually sank the Olympic, and yeah, I don't think that they intended to hurt anybody. Oh, that was the other thing. I remembered what I was trying to say earlier when there was more evidence. Sorry, it's a little bit hard to talk about something and focus on playing a video game, which is part of why I'm doing this with such a simple game, especially a game that I know so well. It makes it a little bit easier on my brain, but I still get a little bit tongue-tied. So anyway, the Olympic, the Titanic should not have hit that glacier. It was a perfectly clear day. You could see for miles. There's no reasonable reason as to why they would have not seen it and not turned in time. So it's really, I don't know. They should have seen it. They should have been able to see it. There's no reason why they couldn't see it in time to turn the ship. So, yeah, it's unfortunate what happened to all of those people, and I mean, I have a funny feeling that Mr. J.P. Morgan, I don't know how he feels about it. I mean, he did it, but they also had the California set up to take in the passengers, so it clearly wasn't their intention to hurt people, so I'm sure they carry a lot of guilt about that. But also not enough to not just come clean, which they should have done. I don't know. If I was a relative of someone who crashed on the Titanic or the Olympic and died, I heard about this theory and realized all of the very valid points that get made, I'd be livid. I don't know. You shouldn't put people's lives at stake like that, but who knows? Things happen. They clearly didn't intend to. I just wish we knew why the California was so far off, It should have been able to get there. They had it all charted out, and, that is really a big one for me, is that the California just drove out into the middle of the ocean and waited. Oh, and it had like 30,000 pairs of 30,000 blankets and or not 30,000, 3,000 blankets and sweaters, like warm clothes on board. So why would they have all that parked out in the middle of the ocean unless they were waiting for passengers who had just been in the freezing cold ocean? Like, it all really lines up for the theory that they were intended to pick up the passengers, and they just missed by 12 miles, which is a lot on the ocean. And I mean, that's a lot anywhere, but like for a big old ship to try to race 12 miles to get to the right place, it's super tragic. It shouldn't have happened that way. They definitely sank that boat on purpose. And which, I mean, I think that we probably should have done more investigating into the accident in the first place, but of course, if he paid everybody off, then who knows? I hope the families got paid off too. I mean, Jesus. He killed all their family members. Oh, dang it, I can't take my amethyst with me. That's okay. So yeah, that's my theory about the Titanic and the Olympic and all of the evidence that says, to me anyway, that the Titanic was the Olympic. The Titanic itself probably stayed on dock and was just fine, and the Olympic that actually crashed, let's see, do we have enough? We almost have enough. So let's just collect some more copper ore, and then we're going to go back home and to bed, and hopefully we will get there in time. Oh, we have to go down one more level, dang it. If we go down one more level, we can complete 2 quests in 1. Let's do that. Let's try to find some stairs really fast so I can make it home and not pass out in the mines. Because, like I said before, if you pass out in the mines, oh crap, I'm really low on energy. What's edible? Is this edible? Eat it, yes. Doesn't do anything. Okay, dang it. Oh no, that made me sick! Okay, we don't have enough energy to find the stairs, so we are unfortunately only going to be able to complete 1 quest today. Wait. Oh, we didn't even complete that quest. We'll have to come back. That's okay. That's a nice, easy quest to complete. We just have to get down to the 5th floor to complete 1 quest, and then we only have to get 1 more piece of copper to complete Clint's quest. So it is very, very dark. Eventually I can both make torches, and I will find a ring that like emits a glow, and it will be easier to get around at night. But yeah, so that's my tale on the Titanic and the Olympic, and I'm glad that you all have joined me today to listen to me ramble about some of my favorite conspiracy theories. Stop hitting that tree. Jesus. And I think we have just enough time to sell some stuff, which means we'll be able to buy the big backpack tomorrow, which is very exciting because we will be able to carry more things. And that is our episode for today. So tomorrow I will be back with another conspiracy theory. Hopefully you guys like me talking about these. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so that you don't miss anything from my channel. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.